Welcome back. Minister of Education, Youth and Information, Senator Honorable Royal Reid is our guest. We're talking about a range of issues in education. He's just back from an important conference in London, the Education World Forum. Minister, the National Apprenticeship Program, let's talk about that and the strides that are being made with that program and its importance.
Well, we have spoken about the National Apprenticeship Program. In fact, we even had an institution called National Youth Service.
Yes.
We have a National Apprenticeship Board. We have Hard Trust NTA that does some amount of apprenticeship programs and also the private sector. So as we speak, we're in an era of mergers. I am putting together all these programs and organizations so we have effectively a national apprenticeship program. We're trying to model it. I've already studied the Australian system. I'm attracted to the Australian system largely because they're one of the few countries, along with Germany, who have had for a sustained period.
A long time.
Yes, not only an apprenticeship system, but one that works, that achieve for them full employment. I say it to you, Ian, full employment. And how they've been able to do that, and I think to a certain extent, Singapore, is what the apprenticeship system does for you as a country is ensure that, first of all, your industry is going to be signaling to your education and training system what the needs are.
Where the trends.
That's correct, where the trends are.
Yes.
But equally, they in return, because they need the trained and worker-ready employees, so that the employers allow these trained persons now to be apprentices in their organization, so they acquire the necessary skills and readiness so they can easily transition in the world of work. In fact, it's a discussion I just had this morning because we're trying to foray now into BPO, BPM.
That's right.
Now, we have a challenge now. Can you imagine? We need a lot of people.
That's right.
So not only are we going to have to train them very fast, but we also have to have that apprenticeship program that allows that as soon as there's any movement or transition or attrition, you have enough persons who are ready to move into those areas. So we are hoping in short order to make a big announcement as to how we're going to scale it out. We have a committee, by the way, working with the private sector to make sure what Australians have achieved is a full alignment, that we are in partnership with the industry players so that the education and training system is meeting the needs of the
And any thoughts,
labor market.
Minister, or any initiatives to incentivize students choosing these technical areas for study? Because that's one means of doing. You could do it through with a student loan or whatever. Making it attractive for people to do that rather than thinking about just law or journalism. These fields that are oversubscribed.
Yes, we're working assiduously to come out with a clear policy on that. Already, I have announced that students who are now moving through the pathway for occupational degrees, and particularly if you were on the PATH program, we're going to fund you entirely for that. And by the way, the CAP program is free. Yes, right, so the students who have opted to go that route, which is like the technical route, there are no charges. So that's already an incentive. We are discussing now how in other areas, including engineering and those STEM-related areas of study, that we are going to further incentivize. We're going to create some special incentives. I'm not going to announce on this program, but we are working on an overall program of transforming how we fund the tertiary sector and how we target those particular professional areas or disciplines that are very much consistent with our goals and our economic objectives.
And I was amazed recently when I learned how low the fees were, for example, at the Caribbean Maritime Institute.
Well, relatively so, and that's another area
Easy
that
access.
now, of course,
granted
yes, the Lower House has passed the bill, and it will get to the Senate soon. And it requires, I'm saying from now, that I have signaled to my team that we have to have a full discussion. I've said the cabinet have to come to have a discussion on how we are going to fund the tertiary sector, because you can't just provide funds in areas where almost obsolete in some regards, or they're oversupplied. So we've got to. But again, It's a discussion we need to have. We need to consult with the stakeholders, but we have to come, and we're going to be coming very shortly with a clear policy on funding of tertiary education. Yes.
Mr. We need another discussion
Yes.
on the achievements
Yes,
of 2016.
We
so we'll
need-
be back.
we need,
We'll be
of
back
course.
with that. The Minister of Education, Youth and Information, just back from an important Education World Forum in London, where he was able to assess what we are doing here in Jamaica, hear from others around the world. And he had been talking to us about some of the things which came out of that conference. We thank you for your company. Next week we'll be back. Until then, Ian Bourne wishing you a pleasant day.